Able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So yesterday we have started about the AWS. So what is meant by cloud, types of cloud computing? Okay, so what is meant by cloud actually? Why we require the companies preferring the cloud? Okay, and coming to the one of the cloud is AWS. So in this AWS, we have different services are available here. So most of the services which are into perspective and most of the services which are related to the projects. Okay, so almost these service only they are going to use in the real-time projects. Okay, so first thing is like IAMA, CLI, like command line interface. So we can implement creating our resources. Okay, EC2 is one resources. Okay, creating volume is one resources. Okay, creating all the resources we can do through three ways. One is through programming, and one is through CLI, and another one is through console. Okay, so this is the way we can create the resources. So if you want to create EC2 instances, so we can come here and we'll click on the launch instance and we could create the server. Okay, same way we can do the same kind of activity through CLI. So if you are good at the command line interface, so all commands will be available. Just we need to know how to use the commands and how to execute the commands. Okay, so these things we should know. And next thing is we have the SDKs. Okay, so SDK is nothing but software development kit. Okay, so these are so available in the internet. So if you want to work with EC2, no need to log into the console. So if you have the proper access to the AWS account, so EC2 creation can be also done through the programming language. Okay, so most of the people not for the SDKs, either they will go with the console or the CLI. Okay, and CLI also like apart from the infrastructure as a service, like we can go with the CLI also. Okay, CLI is nothing but the commands which you are writing. So sequence of commands we can organize into a scripting part. Okay, so if you want to write a small kind of, I want to create a EC2 instance, I want to delete the number of instances which are not in available or in the stopped state. Okay, so based upon the scenario, if you want to do the regular kind of activity, we can also go with the scripting kind of a thing. Okay, shell scripting also we can include the AWS CLI commands. Okay, so next thing is the load balancer. We have discussed about the load balancing, auto scaling. Next we have the VPC networking. So how the communication happen, how you are getting the IP address for your system, how you are able to deploy your applications, and those applications we are accessing from the outside of the world, or some of the applications we want to restrict within the organization level. Everything we can organize in a VPC. Okay, so if you want to communicate your system from your home, okay, how we are getting the access. Okay, all these access related issues. Okay, so we can discuss in the VPC networking. Okay, so coming to the next S3. S3 is a storage solution. Like if you want, if one way while we are uploading anything, it may be image, JPG file, XLS, Excel sheet file, CSV file, any type of XML format, any type of a format of a file you want to store permanently, not temporarily. So if you want to keep them permanently, then we are going to do the solution called S3. Okay, and one more thing is the Lambda. Lambda is nothing but you want to process your data. So I want to store the student records. There is a front-end application is there. So when we have the student registration form, so when we click on the submit button, you want to get the data and store the data into the database. Okay, so everything certain action is performed. You want to process the data and you want to perform the activities, then we will go with the S3. S3 is a serverless architecture where we don't need to define the server. No need to define the server is nothing but, for example, if you want to run the Java code. Okay, so you can upload your Java code and you can choose it where you want to run this Java code. We have the option to select the runtime selection. Okay, for example, you have developed the Python code. You can upload the Python code or you can write the Python code. So at the runtime, you can select the version. I want to run this code in Python 3.7. I want to run the Python code in 3.6. Okay. So based upon your compatibility of the code, we can also select the server. Means no need to install Python, no need to install Java.NET. Already predefined installed by the AWS. Just we need to select the server where you want to execute it. So that option is provided by the AWS. So that's the reason we are considering as a Lambda function as a serverless architecture. No need to define the server. Already the servers will be executed. Just we need to focus on the coding part. Okay. So Lambda is the only single service which will be using the coding part. Okay. So Java, .NET, anything is fine. Node.js, AngularJS, Python, Go language. Okay. So many languages will be supported. So based upon our requirement, if you are, so most of the people prefer for Python because it's a little bit easy when compared to other things. Okay. So next remaining things like CloudFormation templates. So these CloudFormation templates are infrastructure as a service. If you want to build entire infrastructure, so I want to create a 10 EC2 servers. Identical 10 EC2 servers I want to create it. So every time no need to come to the EC2 server, EC2 service, click on the launch instance, one time of okay, 10 times. Again, same identical I want tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, I want 5 servers. After 10 days, I want again same server, 5 servers are required. Okay. Same relative kind of a work you want to do it. Okay. Same entire infrastructure. I want to set up VPC, I want to set up S3, I want to set up IAM. Any kind of activity you want to do it. So you don't want to go with a manual activity. I want to go with the automation kind of activity. So then we will prefer the CloudFormation templates. So this CloudFormation templates will be applicable only for the AWS. So if you want to create an infrastructure as service for all the clouds, I want to create a Google Cloud, I want to create a resources in Azure, IBM. Okay, I want to set up one database, VM machines. Okay, all these machines, if you want to do the setups, so then we need to know the Terraform. Okay, so Terraform. Okay, so one of the most people are asking nowadays. Okay, because if you don't know any other cloud platform, but you know how to use the Terraform. So what are the concepts are available in the Terraform, how to create the resources in respective cloud, where we need to update it. So all the things we can, if you know it good at the Terraform, that will be helpful. Okay. So if the company is using AWS, they will prefer the CloudFormation templates. Okay. If the company is using multiple clouds, then they will expecting the Terraform. Okay. So next thing is notification service. Something is, anything is activity happened. You want to get a notified through email or SMS. Okay. So simple notification service, SNS stands for. So if you want to notify something, okay, something user got deleted, user has unfortunately deleted some important resources, but you want to get the notification for it. Okay, something, anything event or anything action is performing on the AWS account, you want to get a notifications, then we will go with the SNS. Okay, so next thing is we have the SQS. SQS is a queuing service. Okay, so for example, if you want to capture all the data, okay, so for example, we have a weather reports are there. Okay, so how the weather reports will be? Every second we are getting the data. Okay, same thing if you take AC devices, if you want to take the thermometers, okay, so temperature devices, anything, if you take the devices, so every second the data will be vary. Okay, so temperature will be changing from every second. I want to capture the every second data. So if it is only one temperature device, okay. So if you have a lots of devices, so every second we are getting the data for 100 devices. I want to capture all the devices data. So we need to take the data and also we need to process the data. So sometimes what happens, we may get a chance to lose the data. So what the queuing mechanism will do, so how many devices you are getting the data, all the data we are going to put in the queue. Suppose this is device 1, device 2, device 3, like that lots of devices we are getting the data. So what we can do, we can put all the devices data into the queue. Okay, so how we are identifying device? So each device will be identified with unique message. Okay, so suppose this is a message of device one, like that we can store in the queue. Okay, so here this is device one. Okay, so this is device two, device three, device four, device five, device six. So all the different types of devices messages we are getting it. So each time when you are getting the data, we can't process every second. Okay, so within the second, within the fraction of seconds only, we'll getting the data, because every second the data will be varying for the from the devices. So in order to process the data, we require at least some time. So temporarily we are storing the data into the queues. So those type of queues we are going to call it as a queuing mechanism. Okay, so in this queue, the data will be there, and this data will be valid up to something like 7 to 14 days. We can keep settings so that we can have that data capturing. Okay, generally the developers will use this type of queues, but we should know how the queue mechanism will works. Okay, so if we are good at anything Java based one, so JMS, okay, mechanism system, messaging system, these type of things they are using the queuing mechanisms. Okay, CloudWatch, this is a monitoring solution. Okay, so if you want to monitor your thing, okay, so if you want to get the like how much networking is happening, so how much storage is happening, okay, how much CPU utilization is happening. Okay, so if the CPU utilization is reaching to certain level of 90% of the server, okay, so the performance of the system will go down. I want to get alert messages. Okay, I want to perform next action based upon the activity. For example, if the CPU utilization is reaching to 80% or 90%, I want to restart the service. I want to shut down the service. So automatically, if you want to do these kind of activities, so we can create a CloudWatch. And also we can create the dashboards for it. So how much servers are there, how much, so there are predefined services are available by the metrics are available. So based upon the metrics, you want to design your dashboards. So how much servers are available, how many volumes are using, how many snapshots are using. So there are some metrics are available. So with the help of the metrics, we can create the things, and also all the logs can be captured. Okay, so if you are performing any activity or if you are writing any code through Lambda functions, so I want to capture the logs of whatever the activity, what with the data we are getting it, and what is the processing you have done, where you have putting the data. I want to capture the entire logs. Okay, all the things we can perform in the CloudWatch. Okay, so CloudTrail is a audit service. Okay, so every activity you are performing in AWS, okay, any service you take, all the events will be captured here. Okay, so CloudTrail is nothing but audit service. So if you go from one service to EC2 service or VPC, any service, S3, if you create one bucket, so that event will be captured in CloudTrail. So why we require this CloudTrail is only for the auditing purpose. So how much usage is happening per me, how many users are actively accessing your services, and we can also generate the dashboards with the help of CloudTrail. Okay, so next Route 53 is a DNS service. DNS service is nothing but, so we can we have GoDaddy.com something. We can go there and we can register. We can buy the DNS names. Same thing here also. AWS is providing the DNS name for us, so that we can also purchase the DNS names. And instead of remembering the application names or host names, we can go with the DNS names, something like Flipkart.com, Amazon.com. Okay, so they also purchase the DNS names and they can map the DNS name to the respective application server. application servers are the host name or the load balancer URL. Okay, so this type of activity we can perform in the Route 53. So Route 53 is a complete DNS service. Okay, so domain name system. Okay, so domain name thing. So if you want to get your own domain name and if you want to link up your domain name with your server IP address or host name, so we can do with Route 53. Okay, so CloudFront is a distribution service. Okay, so if you want to host your static web pages or dynamic web pages and you want to distribute this networking over multiple geographic locations, so this CloudFront will help us to do the distribution of your networking. Okay, so these are the services and finally we have database. Okay, so database also will be available. So we can go with the database also. So if you want to work with if you are a database engineer, if you are not a database engineer, we should know the basic knowledge. So how to connect to the database, what are the basic queries we are going to perform in the database. So they're not expecting the much more, but basic terminology related to the database should know. Okay, so what is master and slave? How we are going to take the backup of the databases? Okay, so what is meant by primary key, secondary key? Okay, so how the tables will be? What is the database name? Database is nothing but collection of tables. Okay, so collecting the data and storing the data. Okay, so how the databases will be? Which database we need to choose and based upon the application. Okay, so all these things will be available in the database section. Okay, so these are the topics we are going to cover in the training. Any doubts, any questions, guys?
Shabad, can you tell me the difference between SNS and the CloudWatch?
SNS is a notification service. Notification service means nothing but so something like if you are trigger a lambda function, if you are stopped EC2 service, I want to get a notification of email. Something like this is an important service. Somebody unfortunately stopped the EC2 service. I want to get notified through email or SMS. So those type of actions we can here we can do it. So CloudWatch is nothing but once the so based upon the action, what action you want to perform. Action is nothing but suppose my one server is there. So I want to check this server completely. This is the EC2 server. In the EC2 server, so the CPU utilization there. The CPU utilization is reaching to the 90%. So every time the CloudWatch will check it. What is the current CPU utilization? Current CPU utilization. Every time it will check for the event. So if whenever the CPU utilization is reached to the 90%, what action you want to perform? You want to restart the service, or you want to stop the service, or if you want to perform any commands in the EC2 server. So what action you want to perform on the server will be coming under the CloudWatch. Okay, and also if you want to capture the logs and if you want to create a metrics dashboards for all the services for the particular region, we can also do with the CloudWatch. Got it?
Also create for dashboards for CloudTrail as well, right? Sure.
CloudTrail also we can create it. CloudTrail is nothing but all the events, all services. So when you log in, when you create IMA user, okay, so you are switching from one service to another service and you are performing any activity in other service. Every service activity will be captured in the CloudTrail. Even if you click on create, if you want to click on the shutdown, EC2, okay, stop, deleted, created, anything, whichever activities which are performed in the entire AWS account, all the events will be captured in the CloudTrail. Automatically captured. Okay, so no need to define anything. So the trial will be available up to 90 days.
Okay.
CloudTrail generally used for auditing purpose. So how many users are actively using our account and which persons are actively working on the which activity, most of the things. So for auditing purpose, they will go with the CloudTrail. Okay, got it. So coming to the regions and availability zones, we already discussed about the regions. So these are the regions. Okay. Okay. So currently we have these many regions are available. So you can choose any region, no problem. You can work with any kind of a region. All options are available for us. Okay. So if the no option is available for that particular region, you can switch to another region. So best practice is that. So while you do the practice, create the resources. Once your activity is completed, please delete the resources because it's a AWS account is a pay and use kind of activity. Okay. So how much you are using, so that much bill you will get it. And one more thing is, so when you click your name, okay, so the root user only can set up the AWS account first time. Okay. So if you see, this is my account ID. Okay. So for every account, there will be unique account ID will be there. Okay. So this is for something like the real-time scenario. If it is a development network environment. So there will be one more testing. Okay. UAT environment. So something like they will go with production. So there will be multiple AWS accounts will be available. So with different account IDs and URLs also will be different. Okay. So be careful with the things. Okay. Either they will give the URL directly or they will give the separate account ID details for each environment. Okay. So the one of the most important thing is here is billing dashboard. So whenever you are doing any kind of activity, so every 1 week or 10 days, try to check every time the billing dashboard. Okay. So once we click on the billing dashboard, you can see. Okay. So here click on the bills or payments. Okay. So for this month, every month the bill will be generated. So based upon your activity, you will get 100 or 200 rupees per month. But if you are going more with the license version, if you are keeping the servers longer time without shutdowning it, so we'll get the more bill. Okay. So try to practice it. Once you do the practice, try to delete all the resources. Okay. So this is the billing payments. This is the bills. Okay. So you can aim to know. So which service you are using more regularly and which service you are getting more bill. Okay. So bills details by service. If you see here, I got this month $2.76. So everything will be calculated in the dollars only. And so you can see data transfer, it took $0.01. So that too in region, Singapore region. Okay. You can select it. See it. Okay. Next thing is, so next go to here, which is causing more EC2 service, Elastic Cloud Computing, EC2 service, Singapore region. Okay. So T2 micro and T2 medium, I have used it for the more than 30 hours. I use it for the training purpose. So they have charged it for 1.59. Okay. So based upon your research, they will be calculating the billing and the bill will be generated. Okay. So regularly you check it every 3 days or 4 days, weekly once you check it. So which is causing more which service and which region you are getting the more bill. So you can easily keep track of here. And if you feel that something is a problem with Asia Specific Singapore EC2, you can come here and go to the EC2. Click on the dashboard and check it. Here we can see that 0.00000 running. Okay. So if any service is running or not, so click here. All the services will be shown here. Okay. So try here, practice here, take the backup to your local machine and next delete the servers. Okay. For your reference. So don't keep the servers longer period for longer time. Okay. So if you don't want to do any kind of stop the service, again restart the service and start practicing. Okay. So don't go with longer time. Okay. Otherwise you will get the more bill like this. Okay, so remaining all services $0 only. So I got only 1.07 for EC2 because I already have using the EC2 service for trading purpose, and KMS key it is okay. It is charging 0.55. Okay, so that is the main thing. We can see the billing. Billing is very important, guys. So sometimes you will get 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 based upon an activity. Something that people trying to explore it without knowing the prior knowledge. So they will try to explore the things, go to the database and create the database instances with selecting the license keys. Okay, so finally they will see the bill. Why this much amount coming from me? Okay, so come to here and plan accordingly and see the billing, how you are getting a more bill. Okay, so we can easily track from this thing. Next time, you can try to avoid those kind of things. Okay, currently we are getting this much bill for all the things. Okay, fine. So this is very important, guys. Okay. 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 So now coming to the first service. IAM. Okay. So IAM is a identity and access management. Okay. So identity and access management is nothing but so the person who has created this AWS account, so that person will be the root user. Okay, admin user we can call it as, but the persons who are working in the project and the team lead manager, everybody need the access for the account. For example, we have the people we have now, we are the part of the team. Okay, so now we have a Kumar, Raj Kumar, Venkat. Okay, so these three people are there. These three people are the part of the team. So each person has to be logged into the AWS account. Okay, so they will not share the root user details, root username and password. They will not share it. So what they will do? So in order to provide access to the multiple users, multiple teams, they are creating the users. Okay, so Venkat is a one user for our project. So in order to access our AWS account for different environments, first of all, the user should be available in the account. So this user, we are going to call it as a IAM user. Except root user or admin user, remaining all the users, we are going to call it as a IAM user. Okay, so here we can have the okay. So this is one user, second user, third user, fourth user, like how many people are working in the project, different people are in the different team, anything. So the person who want to access the AWS account, the user has to be created in the AWS account, then only we can access it. So next is groups. Okay, so why we require groups? So this is a development team. Okay, so one person, this is a development team, and another team is a testing team, and another team is a audit team. Okay, so there will be different kind of teams. So we will tell in the IMS section, we will call as a groups. Okay, so one is development team is one group, testing team is one group, and audit team is one group. Okay, for example, we are taking the naming conventions for understanding the concept. So what we can do, so this A user is there. Here, B user. This is something like C user. D user. For example, these many users are there. So A and B user may belongs to the development group. And C user, D user may belongs to the testing user. We can add these two users to this particular group, and a user may belongs to the audit team, and a user also may belongs to the one user can belongs to the multiple groups. We can't tell that. So user, he belongs to both development group and also he belongs to the audit team. Okay, so groups are nothing but, so here we can create individual users. We can organize them into the groups. So why we require the groups is nothing but, here we have the concept called policies. Policy is nothing but it's like a JSON permissions. Okay, so policy editor will be there. So you are going to define one policy for them. So in this policy, we have the policy details will be there. So here, which service you want to give permissions. Okay, for example, A user, I want to give EC2 permissions. So what we need to do? So we need to create a policy document. That policy will contain the EC2 service. Inside the EC2, we have lots of functions are available. So I want to give the complete permissions, or I want to restrict only to the few services. So all the things we will define at the policy level. Okay. So IMA is nothing but completely deals with the policies. Okay. So how to generate the policy, how to attach the policy, we will see now. Okay. So based upon this policy only, we were going to allocate the permissions to the users level or the group level. So if we create one policy here, this policy may attach to the, we can attach the B user or A user. Instead of adding to the both the users, what we can do? So we can directly attach this policy to this group, so that the users belong to this group will applicable this policy to the users. Okay, same thing if you have another policy. Policy is nothing but set of permissions. So I want to go, I'm working on both VPC and S3 service. So I want to give the permissions to the EC2 and ES3 for set of users. So those type of things, we will create one policy and we will attach this policy to the user level. Okay, I want to give permissions only to the user means you can give the permission to the user level, or we can give the permissions directly to the group. So that users, these two users also will be applicable this policy. Okay, and this policy, one policy can be attached to the not only the single groups, we can attach to the multiple groups. Okay, so this will be little bit confusion for you guys. So we will see the practical example, then you can understand clearly. Okay, so coming to the IAM service, go to click here, click on IAM. Okay, so IAM click here. Okay, so if you want to access this account, there are various URLs will be there. Okay, so this is the URL they will give in the real-time scenario. HTTPS account id.signin.aws console. Okay, so like that they will give the URL in the real time. So this we have IAM users will be there or root user. Only two users will be available. Okay, so one is IAM user and root user. So root user will have the default, all the permissions will be applicable here. Okay, so I am the root user. You can see my name. So if I want to create a new user, click the users, click on the user section, click on add users. Okay, so let us go with one user called Kumar. Kumar is the user I want to create it. I want to give the access to the Kumar. Okay, so access key don't need custom password. I'm putting own password. Okay, So Kumar at the rate of 123. I want to setting the password for him. Username is Kumar. Password is Kumar at the rate of 123. So in the real time scenario, we will not share the password. So we will tell the automatic generated password. So if you don't want to go with this option, so auto generated password is there. You can go with auto generated passwords. I want to go with custom password. So okay. So if you want to require the password reset, so you can, whenever you sign it, if you want to reset the password reset, once auto generated password has been come through email, once you log in with the password, I want to reset with your own password. So if you want to do this kind of activity, we will use a checkbox. So for this, we don't require the checkbox. So next, here, this is the very important section. So here only we can add users to the group. Okay, as I told. So if you want to add the user to the group, now here we have created the A user. A user instead of A user, we are telling the Kumar user I have created. So if you want to add the user to the group, so now currently we haven't created any group. So we can tell that no, if you want to add to the admins group means we can select the checkbox. Now we are not adding any group, we are adding. Tags is anywhere same, review it. Okay. So the user has no permissions. We are not setting any permissions. If you want to set any kind of a permissions, here you can have the attaching existing policy or copy permissions from there will be there. Okay. We will see the permission section. Next review, create a user. Now I have created only the user level. Okay. So if you want to send the password details to him, we can send an email or we can click this one. We can download the CSV. So all his account details will be available. Okay. So click on the download. So this is the credentials file will be there. So you can send this file to the user. Okay. And one more thing. So already it has been done. So when we close to the close section, so come to the users level. Now we have created the username of Kumar. Click on the Kumar. Okay. So these are the things we can see with the Kumar. Groups, tags, security. So this is the permissions. So what type of permissions you want to add it for this particular user? So we can add the permissions here. Okay. So we will see that permission section. So how to test it and all these things. Go to the access management dashboard. Okay. So if you want to sign in as a, now I have logged in with my name. I want to log in with Kumar. So if you want to sign in URL for Amazon, click this one. Okay. Okay. So we will open this one more thing. So here we need to click. I have opened one more browser. Okay. So in the real time scenario, they will give these details for you. Okay. So when you click, they will give this URL for you and they will share the credentials in a separate email, individual email. So once you come here, this is my name. So I can go here. So where you are getting this URL, so click on the dashboard of the IMA. Here we can see the. Okay. So left symbol is the copy symbol. Click on the copy. Go to the another browser. Click on the console. Okay. Now you can see the difference here. Normal user, root user, and IM user. Okay. Now we are signing as a not root user. Now we are signing as a IM user. So username is Kumar. Password is Kumar at the rate of 123. Okay. Same thing, right? Click on sign in. That's it. Okay. So default it has selected the Tokyo region. Okay. So if you go for any region, you can go to the region. Okay. So now you can see the difference here. So when you log in as admin user, we can see the account ID, these things. But when you log in with the normal IAM user, you can see that user, IAM user will come, Kumar. This is a username, same thing, account ID is, everything will come. So when I go to the now IMA section for the Kumar user, when you click on the IMA, if you want to perform any activities, services, see. So I have logged in with the Kumar user. So you are getting access denied. Access denied. If you click on the user section. Okay, so this is called as a permissions. Okay, so I am a user I have created. So what type of permissions required for the user or the group? So group is nothing but instead of creating the permissions, these permissions we can define through policies. Okay, so policies are very important to give the respective permissions. Okay, so this policy can be attached to the user level or group level. Group will be added to the user. Okay, so now same thing, I want to add this user to the group. Now I'm as an admin user, so I can go to the create a group. Group name is development group. In this group, I can add the users. I want to add the Kumar user. Create a group. Okay, so I have created one more group. So any new person is adding to the group, instead of giving the every time permissions to the new user, just I will add the user to the group. So what are the permissions are applicable for the your group, entire group? So the new user, existent user, everybody will get the same permissions. Okay, so we can click the development group. So here the list of users available in this group. So here we have the permissions. So this is called as the permission policies. Okay, so we want to add the permissions or anything if you want to have it. So we can see the things. Okay, so how the policies will be looks like. Click on the policies here. You take any policy. Okay, so the policy syntax will be like this. Okay, so version, statement, effect, action, and resources. Okay, so you need to remember three things: effect, action, resource. Okay, so effect is nothing but allow or deny. So if you want to give the permissions, means we will give allow option. If you want to restrict, defaultly deny is there. So if you want to specifically deny it, we can go with deny option. Okay, specifically defaultly all are deny option only. So if you want to give the permissions, then we'll put allow. Action is nothing but which resource, like EC2 or IAM. So I want to give the action service name inside the IAM. So we have different services are there. Users, groups, policies are available. I want to give the permissions to the users, view access or delete access. Okay, so all this access can be given under the actions level. Okay, so resources means all restrict to the particular resources or all resources. Okay, each resource will have the ARN details. ARN is nothing but Amazon resource name. Okay, so for example, we can see here, this is Kumar user. Now we can go here. So click on the dashboard. So click on the users level. So what is the ARN details for the Kumar? Click on the Kumar. You can see. Okay, so this is the ARN details of the Kumar user. ARN colon AWS IAM. So this will be defaultly created by the AWS. So if you want to get the uniqueness of the particular user, then we will go with the ARN details. ARN will be common for all the resources. If you go for any service, if you are creating any activity, a unique one, how we have the unique things for all the resources also. Unique one is nothing but ARN details, Amazon resource name. Okay, so this is the name, we can do it. And next coming to the how the policy will be looks like. So action and which resources you want to perform. I want to perform on only the particular user, only the Kumar user I want to build, not for all the users. So that resource level we can do it. Okay. So coming to here, you can see version, this value is fixed one, statement, effect, allow, action. All the resources I want to have the direct connect and EC2. I want to describe VPN gateways. So how to see and how to generate these things, I will show you now. If you don't worry about these things, so add permissions is there. Okay. Go to the policies. Okay, so go to the policies. So based upon the requirement and based on the lots of usage with the projects. So these are the default policies which was created by the AWS. Okay, so if you want to create your own policy, that policy we are going to call it as a custom policy. I am creating my own policy, not AWS provided one. So that policy we are going to call it as a custom policy. You can click on create policy. Okay, so here, this is the UA editor. If you know about the JSON format, you can directly write the JSON format, or I don't want to learn the JSON format. I want to generate the JSON format directly by selecting your things. So here, when I log in here, so it is telling that you don't have permissions required to perform this activity. Okay, so you can see here, this is the service name and this is the function name. List users is the function name. I want to get the permission. I want to give the permission to this particular only users module for the Kumar. What can I do? I can go to the visual editor, choose a service, select the service name, IAM. Okay, so what actions you want to perform in it? All the actions means you can keep the start. No, I want to go with the, they are telling list users means list is the, okay, you can check the list. These are the default, all the functions are available for the IMA model. So I want to get only the list users. Okay, so next. Actions is done. Okay, I want to get read, write permissions. Okay, so resources. If you want to specify any conditions, we can specify the conditions. Next, once you do it, you can see. Okay, automatically generated. So this is one type of policy we are telling effect, allow, action. What action I want to perform in the IMA list users I want to do it. So all the resources I want to applicable. So if you want to restrict only for the Kumar user, so we can put the ARN of that particular user. Resource section, we can give only the Kumar. I want to applicable only for the Kumar user means ARN. For all the resources, for any IMA user, so for particular group or particular user, if you want to applicable, you can apply to these things. Okay, so click star. Okay, so next tags review, create the name of the policy. Okay, so custom IAM policy. You can give any name here, create a policy. Okay, so this policy which we have created, we can attach this policy to the user. Go to the Kumar. Okay, so here we have the permissions is there, add permissions. Okay, copy permissions from the existing user or attach existing policies directly. Okay, so we can give what are the policy we have created. You can select that policy, click here, click here. Done. Okay. Now we can see this particular Kumar user, we have added permissions. So what are the permissions we have? We can see the document. Okay. IMA list users functionality for all the resources we have created. So now come here and refresh the page. Okay. Now for the Kumar user, I'm able to see the users, only listing the users. So when we click this one, we are able to see. Okay. But here again, it is telling that you don't have permissions for the viewing. Okay. To list user policies, we need to add this function to this particular thing. Okay. Fair. This is one function. Get user like that. So if you click on the roles, we don't have the permissions. Right? You are not authorized. So which service you want to give the permissions and what functionality you want to give the permissions, all the things we can define at the policy level. Okay. So now we can go to the thing. Okay. So you can see this is the thing. If you want to applicable multiple things, we can edit the policy. Okay. Go to the IMA list. I don't want to go with list. I want to go with multiple things. So I want to go the list roles also. Okay. So select the list users. I can select the list roles, review policy, save the changes. Okay. Now I have policy has been updated. So you can see. Service IMA list roles, review policy, save changes. Okay. So now we can go to the users. Click on that user. Okay. JSON format or pods. Okay. So if you want to add multiple things, we can go like this. Okay. So this is the way. This is not we have written any single line of code we have written. Just we have generated through generator. Policy generator will be there. So we can generate this. So now for this particular user, which user you have attached this policy, like list users, list roles, 2 permissions I'm giving. So I can log into the Kumar user. Now list roles also have given the permissions. We can refresh it. Okay. Now we can see roles permission we got for the Kumar user. Okay. So users and roles we got the permissions. Okay. When we click the policies, we don't have the permissions to the Kumar. So we should know the list policies is there. So we can copy this here, comma, IMA, colon, like this. So we can select all, copy this, go to here, edit policy, go to the JSON document, control L, control V. Okay. That's it. Okay. So if you see, now I added list policies also. Come here, refresh the page. Okay. So now policies also we are able to see for the Kumar user. Okay. So users we got the permissions, so roles we got the permissions, policies. So if you want to restrict the policies, come here. I want to users, I want to delete it. So delete this one. Okay. Control L, Control C. Edit policy. JSON. That's it. Only roles and policies. Okay. Reviewing policy, saving the policy, save changes. So come here, refresh it. Okay. So users we are restricted. So if you click the users, previously we have the permissions to view the users. Now we will click the users. You can see. Okay. So user Kumar is not authorized to perform the list user because we don't have permissions to view the users. So if you take any kind of a service, so each service will have the predefined functions are there. So this is the one function name, list users. So if you want to give the permissions to this particular user, so we need to create a policy and we need to attach the policy. Okay. So in the real-time scenario interview prospective, they will ask you the syntax. Can you write the one policy for me? Okay. So keep things. Okay. So what is meant by version statement? Inside the statement, we have the statement ID, effect, actions, resource. Okay. So they may ask for the particular resource means we need to give the error details, or this is allow or deny, and this is the actions. So this is the service name. This is the function names. Okay. So this is manual activity, means manually we can also write it. If you are not good at writing the policies, we can use the policy generator. So with the help of selection of your options, it will automatically generate the JSON for us. So you can copy and paste it. Okay. So this is the way we can give the permissions. Any doubts, any questions, guys? Policies.
No, sure. Clear.
So Monday we will again continue with the same thing. Okay.
Can we go with tomorrow class, Sham, if it is comfortable for you?
Yeah, okay for me, no problem.
Yeah, we are okay for tomorrow class.
Anji is also there, right? He's also part of the training, right?
I know he's not connecting anyhow. Yesterday also he not connected. Today also he not connected.
Yesterday connected, right? He joined the training.
Okay. Okay. Today he didn't connected.
Yeah, check in the group. Like if any communication is happened, I will take the class. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay.